You've probably heard this before. The odds of being struck by lightning are about 1 in a million. That sounds reassuring. It makes lightning feel distant, random, almost impossible. But that number is misleading because it assumes something very important, that you're not standing inside a thunderstorm. The moment you are, that 1 in a million idea completely falls apart. To understand why lightning becomes dangerous, we first need to understand what it actually is. At its core, lightning is just electricity, but not like what powers your house. This electricity is on a massive, more chaotic scale. Inside a thunderstorm cloud, the air is violently moving. Warm air rises rapidly upward, while colder air sinks downward. This creates a powerful mixing zone filled with tiny ice crystals, heavier chunks of ice called grapple, which is basically soft hail, and super cold water droplets. Now here's where it gets interesting. When these particles collide with each other, they exchange tiny amounts of electrical charge. Think of it like this. If you rub a balloon on your hair, you build up static electricity. The same idea is happening inside the cloud, but on a massive scale and constantly. The lighter ice crystals get pushed upward by rising air. The heavier grapple and hail fall downward. During these collisions, ice crystals tend to become positively charged, and the grapple becomes negatively charged. So over time, the cloud naturally separates into two layers. Positive charge builds at the top, and negative charge builds at the bottom. You've just created a giant battery in the sky. Now the ground below the storm reacts to this. The negatively charged base of the cloud actually pushes the electrons in the ground away. That leaves the surface, especially tall objects, with a positive charge. So now you have negative charge in the cloud and a positive charge on the ground. And the difference between them keeps growing and growing and growing until the air can't insulate it anymore. Then what happens? Lightning begins, but not in the way most people think. It starts with something called a step deleter. This is an invisible branching path of electricity that moves downward from the cloud in small jumps. You can't usually see it, but it's searching. As it gets closer to the ground, something incredible happens. Objects on the ground, trees, buildings, even people begin sending out upward streamers. Tiny electrical connections reaching up toward the leader. The moment one of those connects, the circuit is complete, and that's when you see it, the return stroke. A massive surge of current traveling upward at incredible speed, heating the air to temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun. That's the flash. That's lightning. So yes, if you average it across your entire life, your odds of being struck are low. But that statistic hides something critical. It assures you spend most of your time avoiding storms. A single thunderstorm can produce dozens, hundreds, sometimes even thousands of lightning strikes per hour. That means every minute, multiple electrical connections are being attempted between the cloud and the ground, constantly. So the real question isn't, what are my odds over my lifetime? The real question is, what are my odds right now in this environment? Because when you're standing outside during an active storm, you're not dealing with a rare event anymore. You're standing in the middle of a system that is actively trying to complete electrical circuits over and over again. Another major misconception is that lightning has to hit you directly. That's not true. In fact, many injuries happen in other ways. Here are 3 different ways lightning can hit you. A direct strike, the rarest but most severe. A side flash, lightning hits something nearby like a tree and part of the current jumps to you. And then ground current. When lightning hits the ground, the energy spreads outward through the surface. If you're standing nearby, that current can travel through your body. This is one of the most common ways people get injured. Here's why location matters. Lightning doesn't just hit the tallest thing. It follows the path of least resistance, so risk increases when you are the tallest object in an open area, you stand near isolated trees, you are on beaches or open fields, or you are near water, or when you simply stay outside too long. Lightning can strike miles away from the storm core. Even if it's not raining where you are, you can still be within range. If you can hear thunder, you are already at risk. So what actually protects you? Not luck, not statistics, positioning. Fully enclosed buildings and cars are the safest places you can be. Cars act like a Faraday cage, directing the current around you. The most dangerous place you can be is under a tree, in an open field, near water, or small shelters and pavilions. Here's a simple rule you can follow. If the time between lightning and thunder is less than 30 seconds, you need to be inside immediately. So what have we learned? Lightning isn't rare when you are in the wrong place. It's not random chaos. It's a powerful electrical system actively trying to balance itself. And if you happen to be a part of the easiest path, it will use you. So the next time you hear thunder, don't think about lifetime odds. Think about where you are and whether you're a part of the circuit.